Hey everyone, in this video we are going to be going over the 4.3 notes part 2. So you already got the part 1 earlier in the chapter, but now we're going to be going over part 2. And part 2 is all about multiplying or dividing both sides of an inequality by a negative number. So part 1 was about multiplying or dividing by a positive number, but you'll see that there is a significant difference in multiplying or dividing by a negative number. So the essential question for this topic will be, how does multiplying both sides of an inequality by a negative number change the inequality? So this is just, again, a follow-up to part 1. So you've already seen here the multiplication and division properties of inequalities. But now this says case 2 because case 2 refers to negative numbers. So case 2 is referring to negative numbers, and in words this reads, when you multiply or divide each side of an inequality by the same negative number, the direction of the inequality symbol must be reversed for the inequality to remain true. So the direction of the inequality symbol, this little comparison symbol that goes between the two expressions, has to be changed in order for the inequality to remain true. Now just a reminder, if I use a highlighter, it's because I'm talking about that specific thing, not necessarily meaning that you have to highlight it as well. I'll tell you when I need you to highlight something. So let's look at an example. Let's say we had -4 is less than 6. And -4 is less than 6. And let's say that we decided to multiply both sides by -2. Now, because we're multiplying both sides by one side by -2, we have to multiply the other side by -2 because this is an inequality, and whatever we do to one side, we do to the other side, just like an equation. Now, you'll see here that we start off with -4, and we multiply -4 by -2, and -4 times -2 is 8. And then on the right side, 6 times -2, -12. But notice how the inequality symbol changed here. We started off as a less than sign, and now we have a greater than sign. And so what's the reasoning behind that? How is it that that occurs? So why does the inequality symbol change when multiplying or dividing by a negative number? So why does it change? Well, as you can see here, on the left side we started off with a negative number, but when you multiply a negative number times a negative number, like we did with the -2, it changes it to a positive number. And on the right side, we started off with a positive number, multiplying it by one negative number changes it to negative. So we went from having on the left side a negative number, and on the right side a positive number, to switching that up. Now we have on the left side positive number, and on the right side a negative number. We know that all negative numbers are less than positive numbers, so if our signs on both of these numbers change, one going from negative to positive and the other going from positive to negative, then that means that the inequality symbol also has to switch sides in order to show that the negative number is still less than the positive number. So that's why it changes here, is because multiplying it by a negative number changes the entire sign of both sides. And so by changing the entire side of both sides, we have to also change the inequality symbol so that the inequality remains true. And in algebra, so we can use variables to represent any number. So that means that for algebra, if a is less than b, so if any number is less than another number, and c is negative, and you multiply a and b by c, which are both negative, just like we did up in the top, then doing that is going to change the inequality symbol. So you can see here that now we have a times c and b times c, just like we do up top, but the inequality symbol has changed. And same thing goes for divisions. Division is the same thing. As long as you're dividing both sides by a negative number, then the inequality symbol must change. So it's just really important to remember that, really important that you make sure you do that in all of your steps. And just because you see a negative sign in an inequality, it does not necessarily mean you must reverse the inequality symbol. So just because there's a negative doesn't mean you have to reverse the symbol. It's only when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number that you have to change the inequality symbol. So let's go ahead and do an example together. We're being asked to solve negative 3 over 2n is less than or equal to 6, and then we're being asked to graph the solution. Well, if I wanted to solve this out and get that n by itself, then I know that I'm going to need to multiply the 3 over 2 by its reciprocal. We would do negative 3 over 2 times negative 2 over 3. And because I multiplied that left side by negative 2 over 3, I'm going to also multiply the 6 by negative 2 over 3. Now, that's going to leave me over here with a positive n. Move this down a little bit. That's going to leave me with a positive n because we know reciprocals all multiply to 1. And then on the right side, 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Over 3 gives me negative 4. And because I multiplied both sides by a negative number, I'm going to need to turn this less than or equal to symbol into a greater than or equal to symbol in order for it to remain true, in order for the inequality to remain true. So we solve that n is greater than or equal to negative 4. We're going to find negative 4 on the line, on our number line. N can equal negative 4, so we're going to use a closed circle. And then n is greater than negative 4, so that's going to be to the right. So as long as you switch the inequality symbol, then everything else is just the same. But that's only when you multiply or divide by a negative number. So keep an eye on what you're multiplying or dividing by. I'll leave the on your own for yourself.